Hey guys, so today I thought I would do some nail hack videos for you. So I was actually watching some different nail hacks and like hair hack videos the other day, which is what gave me the idea for this. And a lot of these videos are really unrealistic in the actual supplies and the things that they assume that most people have in their house to do these hacks, especially during quarantine. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have an ostrich egg sitting around my house to do a hair mask or to soak my cuticles in. So I figured, why not do some kind of a, much easier nail hack, things that will be more common, household items that most people will definitely have in their house. So these hacks will hopefully be very useful to you. You'll be able to use them. You'll enjoy doing it. It's pretty fun. So I think it's going to be a good time. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first hack we are going to do is we are going to make a scrub. So now this scrub you can use on your hands, on your feet, your knees, your elbow, really anywhere that you get really dry skin. I would say not to use it on your face because for this hack I'm using olive oil. It's a little bit heavy for the skin. Although I think my grandmother said she used to put olive oil all over her face. I don't know if that's actually true. If you have vitamin E oil, then you could probably use it for your face. That would probably be okay. But again, since we're doing like simple hacks, things that most people would have actually on hand, that's why I chose olive oil. So you're just going to take your olive oil, and I am going to use just a spoon here. And what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to do, depending on if you're doing like your hands, your feet, we're just going to do like 2 tablespoons here. Let's do 3. So we put our olive oil. I cut a little red Solo cup here. You could use a bowl if you want. I just don't want to dirty a dish. To be honest, I just didn't want to wash it. So got my sugar. Now this is just regular granulated sugar. You can use salt if you have a coarse salt, even a pink Himalayan salt, which I don't know if that's common now, like if more people have that now. I do not, but if you have like a coarse salt, you can use salt. The only thing with salt you have to be careful is if you have any cuts or anything like that, or if your skin is really, really dry and it's really irritated and red, the salt could burn. So I go with sugar just because then you don't have to worry about it. So we're just gonna do a little, just like, let's try 1.5. To the ratio of oil here. I'm gonna stir this around. I think I put a little more sugar in, just to make sure it's nice and gritty. So that was like a heaping tablespoon that I just put in. Okay. Let's do one more. So I guess it's like 3.5 tablespoons of sugar to the 3 tablespoons of the oil. So now, as you'll see, I'll take it out of the cup here for you. So this consistency is not, it's runny, but not too runny. It still sticks together pretty nicely. Okay, so now that we have mixed all this and got it all ready for you. And again, the consistency, you're going to want it to be sticky, just so it sticks to itself. That way, whenever you do try to mix your hands together and rub it all together, it's not going to be flying everywhere. The oil and the sugar will mix nicely and create like kind of like a paste. So it will make, it's still going to make a little bit of a mess, so you're definitely going to want something down on your table, but it won't be as messy if it's a little bit more sticky. It's going to be really hard to see on my skin here, but I do have a few little dry spots around, you could see like the skin right here. I have a few dry spots around my cuticles. And some dry spots actually on the palm of my hand too. So I'm going to use this scrub to soften all of those, and then we will show you the results. So what we're going to do is just going to take this little bit here, just skip it in your hand like that. And then what I like to do is I like to kind of focus on the area that needs the most attention. So like I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna kind of rub all around my skin and my cuticles. Like really good like that. Kind of just rubbing really, really good all around the skin, under there, the top, bottoms of your hand, the tops of your hand. Keep those hands looking young. Okay, there we go. Scrub is on, and I'm gonna go rinse this off and show you the result. Okay, so that is all rinsed off. So I did not use soap to rinse this off because we do want to keep that oil actually in the skin. We don't want to use soap and wash off all the lovely oil that we just put in our skin. So this is kind of hard to see, but I did have some areas around here that were dry and around my cuticles like that, which I do not have anymore. That scrub definitely took them all away. I wish you could actually feel my skin right now because it totally feels like a baby's butt and it feels wonderful. So now at this point, if you have some lotion, you could put some lotion on. That would make your hands feel even better. I would suggest anything that you have that has either vitamin E, is always good for the skin. Shea butter is really, really good for the skin. Anything like that that's just gonna give you the most moisture. Just lock in that moisture. It's gonna keep your hands soft and it's gonna be really nice. And I would also recommend doing that at night. Like doing this scrub at night, putting on your lotion at night, and then going to bed. You can put gloves on if you want. You know, it's kind of weird. Some people don't want to put the gloves on, but you don't really have to because you're not going to be washing your hands then for the next, 6 to 8 hours, depending on how much sleep you actually get. So that way all that moisture is just going to soak in and soak in and soak in for that many hours. So you should definitely do it at night. So I would say, going by the softness of my hands, I would give this hack a 10 out of 10, and on to the next one. Okay, so for our next hack, we are going to do the tea bag repair for a cracked nail. So let's say you took off your acrylics or your gels or anything like that. You have a crack in your nail, you want to save it. This is going to be a really good hack. And I know I've told my clients about this one before. It's a pretty old hack, but it's a really good one and it does really, really work. So you're gonna need some glue. You can use brush on, you can use the kind that has the nozzle tip. Really any nail glue will work. And then now, and again, since I was saying that these are gonna be hacks of things that you have around the house, if you don't have nail glue, you can use clear nail polish. Doesn't work quite as well as the glue, but it can still work. So whether it's a base coat, top coat, you can use clear nail polish as well in replace. Then you're gonna need your tea bag. You're gonna need a file and a buffer and a pair of scissors. So this is just a little fake nail that I took off my little nail wheel that I used to paint nails on. Okay, so here's your nail. So what you're gonna wanna do is first is you're gonna wanna get your nail glue here, and you're gonna wanna do just a coat over where the crack is down to the free edge of the nail. So make sure it's all nice and coated with the glue. Then you're gonna cut out a piece from your tea bag, which as you can see, I already did. So we have our little piece of tea bag fabric right there. If you have tweezers, this does make this a lot easier. The glue is really, really sticky, so you have to be really careful when you're putting it down. So we're gonna put it like that. And now I'm just actually gonna take my scissors because I don't have tweezers on me. And we're just gonna go like this, and we're just gonna push this just to get it down onto the nail flat. And then again, we're gonna take our glue, and you're gonna wanna cover another coat with the glue to make sure there's no air bubbles and that you're really sealing everything in there. The crack will be sealed. So now if the crack is really, really bad, you can add another coat of glue, or you can actually put another coat of glue, and then you can take another strip of your tea bag and put another strip of tea bag over it, and then another coat of glue, just so you have a little extra reinforcement. If the crack is really low to your stress area, where if it were to break, you could bleed, if it's that low, I would suggest doing two tea bags. That way it's gonna give you enough strength too, that it's gonna be able to grow out a little bit before it does break off. So that way it won't hurt whenever it does break. So again, so we have our glue like this on. So now what you're gonna wanna do is, if you only do the one coat, it's not gonna be very bumpy or anything, so you may just be able to use just a buffer on the top to file it. I am gonna take my file though, just to go on the side here to get rid of, I guess I cut some of it off, but if you have any excess here, you're just gonna wanna take your file and just go like in a down motion, and that'll just kind of take off just that excess like tea bag stuff around the sides here. My glue is not quite dry yet, but yeah, so that'll just smooth like out these sides a little bit. And then again, you're just gonna take your buffer and you just kind of buff over the top. My glue isn't quite dry yet, so I don't wanna do that, but that's basically what you do. Now, if you do have your 2 layers of tea bags, you might need a low grit file. It doesn't have to be anything really sharp, like a 180 grit or something, and you just kind of want to file the top just to smooth it so you don't have any lines if you are going to paint over this. You just don't want to have any lines so you don't see anything. So there is our little tea bag repair. So again, I am going to give this one 10 out of 10 because I do really like this hack a lot. It works really, really well. The tea bag is actually a really nice, strong fabric. So it does really help and keeps the nail from breaking. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so for our next hack, we are going to do a at-home paraffin treatment. So I'm going to show you an easy way, if you don't have a candle melter, on how to melt some old candles to make a lovely paraffin wax treatment for your hands. Okay, so you're going to take a walk with me into my kitchen now. Oh, am I boring you, Nugget? Did you just yawn? Okay, so we are in my kitchen right now. So I wanted to show you. So this is what I'm using, are these little candle squares. So again, you could use, if you have an old candle or anything like that, or even like the little tea light candles, you could just break those up and you can use those as well. So what we are doing is we have, I have my pot right now, and then I have a glass inside of it, kind of like a double boiler, which is currently melting our wax right now. So this has been on for about 10 minutes. So we're just gonna let it finish boiling, finish melting down, and then I will show you how to do the paraffin dip. So I just took my cup and poured it into my bowl that I'm going to be using for this today. I'm actually using this bowl particularly because it has a chip in it, and I was going to throw it away anyway, so I figured why not just use that bowl. So we're gonna let this cool probably for about 2 minutes already, which should be good because as you can see, it's actually already starting to dry up here around the edges a little bit. So you don't want it to be too dry because obviously then when you stick your hand in, it's not gonna work. Okay, so now we are going to take our hand and we are going to dip this in. Now I don't know if I actually melted enough wax for my whole entire hand to go in here, so we're going to just try to fit at least, if we can, just the fingers in here. So we're just going to put them in just like that, and then I'm just going to flip it around. We're going to do the other side, let it drip a second, we're going to do it again. This is hilarious looking. Okay, so let that dry just a few minutes on your hand. Not even, probably just like a minute or so, until the heat goes away. But again, like I said, I actually let this cool for probably about 3 to 4 minutes at this point now. So as you can see, you'll know when it's ready when the around the outer rim starts to dry and starts to get bubbly. That's how you know that the wax is dry and not too hot that you can actually dip your hands in. So yeah, like I said, we're going to leave this on until that warmth that you feel from the wax goes away and they're nice and dry, and then we're going to peel it off. Okay, so here we go. We have our wax fingers. So now these are actually, this stuff is going to be really, really nice too. What you could do too is after you do your scrub, if you don't do the scrub at night, if you want to do it during the day, you could do that too. And then after the scrub, you could put this on and then put your lotion on, and woo, your hands will be so soft. Okay, so like as you can see, when you start to move like and stretch your fingers, as you can see, the pieces of the wax will start to come off. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of like pull like this. Wow, that came off really easily. You can put like a little baggie around these if you want. You can use like cellophane or just like a baggie, like a big gallon Ziploc would work too. That way it'll make a little less mess when you are taking it off, because you could just slide the bag and everything will go in the bag. But yeah, so, oh my gosh. It smells like cranberries from my candles I used. So I know you can't really see it, but, or actually feel, but oh, my hands right now feel amazing. And the heat from the paraffin is really, really good to increase blood circulation. And it is also really good for arthritis. It helps with the joints, the heat. So if you wake up in the morning and your joints are stiff, you have arthritis in your fingers, you can do this. You could do the paraffin. Now, again, if you melt more candles, obviously if you get more, you can kind of get the whole finger in, or the whole hand in. You can do it on your elbows, really anywhere that you have joint pain. Paraffin wax is fantastic for it. Like I said, it increases circulation, so it is really good for anybody that has poor circulation. So yeah, I, again, would give this hack a 10 out of 10. This one was probably like on the messier side. It was a little more difficult because you had to wait for the candle wax to boil, which took about 15 to 20 minutes for all that wax to melt. So if you have more wax, it's going to take a little bit longer. And then again, you have to take it out and then you have to let it cool for a few minutes before you put your hand in. You don't want to burn your hands or anything. I would suggest doing like a finger test. Just dip one finger in and see how hot it is before you just go for it and stick your whole hand in. But yeah, this was absolutely amazing. So I loved all of these hacks, and this one particularly was fun because I've never actually done a homemade paraffin wax before. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of my hacks, and if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. And I miss you guys, and we will be seeing you soon.